guests, welcome to today's bbcan 9 updates and spoilers. Our house guests of the day are Hector, Salinas, and Patrice. Thank you both so much for the support. We could not do this without you, and we appreciate it so much. So thank you again. And if you guys want to be house guests of the day, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. All right, guys. I was just telling Mom, this invisible HOH is delivering. I feel like the perfect person for this won, and we are just being treated to a mess, and it's a lot of fun to watch. So when the feeds, so when we left off yesterday, we were playing detective, trying to figure out who the invisible HOH is, because the feeds were not on for very long yesterday. So we had to try and piece things together. So there were a lot of signs pointing to Victoria being the invisible HOH. She's trying to make people think it was Ro or Beth or somebody else. But it's pretty much confirmed now. It's 100% confirmed now, pretty much. I guess we can't say 100 until we see the episode, but it's 99% confirmed that Victoria is the invisible HOH, and she has been doing the most. So let's dive in. Some points of interest here. Just some little quick things. Austin, Brayden, and Ro have rebranded their trio. They used to be Carb / the Nerd Herd with Kyle, but now they are Power Bar. B-A-R, as in Brayden, Austin, Ro. Right? Okay. So Victoria was chatting with Austin and Brayden, and Victoria says, oh, Kiefer is trying to convince me that Ro made a deal with Jed and Ty, which it sounds like he did. But Kiefer is super paranoid about this, and I feel like Victoria is bringing this up to people because, she's trying to possibly frame somebody from that group, just in case Austin and Brayden go up on the block. Maybe it'll be like, whoa, Ro did it because he has a deal with Ty and Jed now. I think that's why she keeps bringing it up to people. But Austin says, no matter what, we need to lay low this week because people are looking at us like we're the big targets now, and we're not. It is crazy how all of a sudden Austin is this humongous target. But Austin says no one is looking at Kiefer at this point. He has won a power veto, an HOH, and he's survived the block twice. He has the biggest resume so far, and nobody is talking about putting him up. And Victoria's like, oh, wow, you're right. She's not going to put up Kiefer. So then, Austin and Brayden are saying that they hope Victoria has it. She's saying that she doesn't. Girl. So then Victoria at one point was chatting alone with Austin for a few minutes. And then after, when she was alone again, Victoria says to the cameras, I don't want to talk to you. People are so dumb. Is she going to put up Austin and Brayden? This seems like the ideal opportunity to break up Jed and Ty, right? Wouldn't you want to take out the two biggest, or one of the two biggest targets? That's crazy if she puts up Austin and Brayden, isn't it? I know she's working both sides, but damn. So anyway, it sounds like the HOH got to pick one person to get a letter from home, because it would be really obvious if the HOH was running around with their own letter. So it sounds like Victoria chose Tina. She was pretty happy about that. And it also sounds like Ro did make some sort of a deal with the throuple, Beth, Jed, and Ty. The four of them were chatting in the Defender bedroom. And I'm sure that Ro is just covering his bases with this deal. But they've been talking a lot of game. So anyway, Ro says, no one has me as a number right now, except for you guys. And Ro says, I'm going to be straight up, Kiefer is my next target. We're playing nice with each other for now, but I'm going after him. And he says, I know that Kiefer's tight with you guys, but I think I'm a better number for you than he is. Oh, damn! So I guess Kiefer should be worried. So Ro says, I can be a shield for you guys if Kiefer wins HOH next week, which didn't really make sense to me because he knows that Kiefer's tight with them. Why would they need a shield against Kiefer? But I guess he's just saying, I would maybe just that he would be a shield in front of them for anyone. Like, I don't know. That kind of confused me, but anyway, he also said, I think I have more to offer than Kiefer does. Nobody's gonna think we're together because why would we be? We've been on opposite sides of the house, and I am in more with the other side of the house than Kiefer is, so I can bring you guys more information from the other side. And Beth says she 100% agrees. Does she, or is she playing along? Part of me feels like almost maybe she does somewhat agree, because I think she's over Kiefer at this point. He's not HOH anymore. She feels like they're going to have more opportunities maybe with Ro moving forward. So Jed says that he thinks Vic, Brayden, or Austin is the invisible HOH. So Ty's like, oh, well, who do you think Victoria would put up if it's her? And Jed says, Austin and Brayden. And then Ro's like, Vic would put up Austin and Brayden? I'm wondering if this was a surprise to him. You know, because Victoria was part of the eyeballs, and they suspect, you know, Victoria's in the middle, but I don't know that he realized how deep Victoria has been, like, with the other side. So that might have been a little bit of a surprise to him, but Victoria is pledging her loyalty to Ty and Jed. She's telling them, if I was invisible HOH, I wouldn't put you guys up. She said, you don't have to worry about me. Like, I want to be best friends with you guys out of here, blah, blah, blah. And she said, even if I was, which I'm not, but if I was the invisible HOH, you guys would be good. Is she really not going to take a shot at them? Or is this like some sort of a setup to frame someone else? Because, you know, if she's saying, I'm so loyal to you guys, I'm not going to put you up, and then they go up on the block, she could be like, oh, it was Ro, or it was somebody else, you know, not me. I don't know. But the feeds went down for a while, as the house guests found out who the invisible HOH selected to be the have-nots for the week. And the have-nots are Austin, Brayden, Kiefer, and Victoria. Oh my god! Spicy V made herself a have-not. And this is her second week of have-nots in a row. That's bold. So after Victoria is saying, wow, the HOH must be Ty or Ro. she's doing everything she can to push this off on other people, but like this have-not thing, that's a little crazy, right? And also, how are the throuple escaping have-notness again? The same people are being have-nots over and over again. I guess this is Kiefer's first time, besides like the first week when everybody was. But everybody else is a repeat. That's wild. Meanwhile, Austin, Brayden... Oh, wait, sorry. Let me go back. So Victoria, when she's alone, she's like laughing to the cameras about how like silly all this is, and she's like, I'm gonna be so skinny. Meanwhile, Austin, Brayden, Jed, Beth, and Ty are in the ball pit, which is interesting because, you know, they're on opposite sides. But not only are they trying here to figure out who is the HOH, but also who is the HOH trying to frame? Because things are not making sense here. Things are not adding up, especially with this new have-not information. But they're starting to wonder, is it Victoria? And she slopped herself? Yeah. But Jed says, wait a second, Victoria has a slop pass. Does she? I don't know. I'm not sure if this was like from the competition, or maybe the HOH got to give out a slot pass secretly. I don't know, but they're suspecting maybe Victoria has a slot pass, unless I'm forgetting something from a previous week, but I don't think so. They also think she's kind of overacting, you know? She's doing a lot. So Jed says Victoria is a super fan. She would do something like this because Canada would love it, and she knows that. So he's really starting to think it's Victoria. They're all getting on board with that. And Austin says if Victoria goes after any of them in that room this week, we need to stick together. She's talking about the 5 of them, which I think we should call A and B and the 3. But she's basically saying, you guys can't survive without us, we can't survive without you, because they're all big targets. So say Austin and Brayden go, then the new targets are going to be the throuple. So she's pushing that line. And Beth says that Victoria is trying to make it seem like Ro or Austin are the HOH this week. And Austin's like, well, I shouldn't be on the block if Victoria is trying to pin it on me, right? Like, that wouldn't make sense. So they're trying to figure out, like, who the hell is going to be nominated tomorrow. Because they did the nomination ceremony this morning and not last night like they usually do. So Austin is pushing again that they all need to stay with each, like, they all need to stay this week. They all need to work together to make sure that happens, because Tina and Tara just keep floating on through this game, not winning things. Eventually, they're going to control the votes. And they agree they can't let Tina, Tara, Vic, and Kiefer solidify their group and take over the whole house. They don't want it. So then, who joins them? Victoria. Oh my god. She's acting so upset that she's on Slop again. She's trying to pin this on Ro. She's like, I don't know. I've been hearing that Ro made a deal with Jed and Ty, so maybe that's why they're not have-nots. And they're like, no, come on. They're denying it. So then Austin and Brayden are saying, like, if we're on Slop and on the block tomorrow, we're going to freak out. Like, we're going to turn this house upside down. And Austin says if somebody does that, they're evil. She says that's personal if that happens. But I feel like they're being a little dramatic about this. Like, yeah, it sucks to be on Slop and be on the block. And normally I would be like, it's not that out of the question, right? I feel like people put their nominees on Slop all the time because they want them to be, like, weak and off their game for the POV competition. Like, that's a thing. But the only reason why I would say it's shady this time is because you've got a bunch of people who have never been have-nots, and you're already, like, a month into this game. It's pretty sketchy to not have those people be the have-nots. I don't know, but I still do feel like they're making a huge deal out of this. And Jed is saying, like, oh, I would never do that. I would never, put somebody up on the block and put them on Slop. Yeah, okay. I don't know that I believe that. Wasn't he one of the ones that was talking about keeping Ro on Slop for, like, the whole entire game? But Jed says, if I'm on the block tomorrow, you'll know that I'm not the HOH. So that's going to come up in a little bit. But after Victoria leaves, they're still thinking, like, yeah, it's possible that Victoria is the HOH and she put herself on Slop. They feel like they'll have more of an idea if Victoria uses a Slop pass, because that's just going to be like a dead giveaway that she did that to herself. All right, so then later, Victoria just continues to lay it on thick. She's acting all upset that she's a have-not. She's acting afraid that she's going to go up on the block, and she's saying, like, I'm going to know who the HOH is after I see who's nominated this week. So then we got a bunch of Victoria alone talking to the camera segments, if you want to call it that. So she said to the camera, oh my god, are they buying it? What do I do? Should I put myself up? Okay, Pax Bros, what is going on here? Stop. I don't think she knows what she's doing at this point. I think she was still trying to decide, like, which side she was even going to lean towards. She's got a big decision here. Is she going to stick with the throuple, or is she going to go after them? I don't, like, it doesn't make sense, all the stuff that she's doing here. But that's why I think she was still deciding at that point, because she was trying to blame it on, like, multiple people, and, like, I don't know. So later on, she's talking to herself again, and she says she's considering putting herself on the block with Austin. She thinks that she would have the votes to stay. And I'm wondering if this thought is, like, popping into her mind because of what Jed said earlier about, like, oh, if I'm on the block, people will know that I'm not the HOH. So is she thinking, like, if I'm on the block, people will not think that I'm HOH? Oh my god. So to answer the are they buying it question, sort of. I mean, at first I wrote no, they're not buying it. We'll get there. I mean, the throuple definitely not buying it. They are pretty sure that Victoria is the invisible HOH. But you know what? The throuple is fine with Victoria's shenanigans this week as long as they don't go up on the block. And they're playing along with it. They are using it to their advantage. They don't want to scare her out of putting up Austin and Brayden on the block. So they're saying what they need to say, and they're going along with it. Smart. So the throuple also discussed that they need to work on Kiefer because he's really sus about Jed and Ty making a deal with Ro, which they did along with Beth. And they also realized, wow, we've been spending way less time with Kiefer now that he's not HOH. We need to fix this. We need to figure out how we're going to handle this and make sure that we don't lose him. So, yeah. Again, they did not have nominations last night. But this morning, the house guests were anxiously awaiting the nomination ceremony because they want some answers. They want to know who's going up, and they still don't know for sure who the HOH is. So the feeds went down for a few hours for nominations, and we find out, that Austin and Brayden are on the block. Damn! Okay, I'm really surprised that Victoria clearly wants to work with the throuple. Right? Like, I was not expecting that at all. This seems like a missed opportunity to me. Like, Austin and Brayden? I don't know. I'm not saying it's, like, the worst move ever, but I'm really surprised that she didn't go for the throuple. I mean, we still have the veto. You never know what could happen, but I don't know. It's puzzling to me. But it's also freaking entertaining, so at least there's that. So of course, Austin and Brayden are upset. They're annoyed that they're nominated and on slop. They cannot get over that. But Victoria's acting like the HOH must be Beth. So, Austin and Brayden are really in the dark. The night before, it seemed like they were on the right track when they were talking to the throuple and they were thinking like, oh, it could be Victoria. But now they're saying they don't think that Victoria is the HOH. They don't think that she'd want to isolate herself from another group by nominating them. They don't think that she would put her nominations on slop. And to take it one step further, Austin feels that if Victoria won the power of veto, she would use it on one of them. So they think at this point that the HOH is either Ty or Beth. Oh my god! So then Austin and Brayden had a chat with Victoria in the Expedia Junior room, and they let her know people are trying to pin this HOH on you. Because it is. But they don't believe it. And they say, our gut is telling us to pick you if one of us get house guest choice. So Victoria's like, yeah, pick me. If I win and I use it, I don't have to worry about the HOH putting up my number one ally because I have no one else. Oh my god. Maybe she doesn't have to worry because she is the HOH. But Victoria is still saying that she thinks that Beth is the HOH. They say that they think it's Ty. This is out of control. And Austin says, you know what? If we're wrong and it is you this week, you got us. I don't think that's what they're going to be saying when they find out. But Victoria says if she wins the power veto, she would use it on one of them. I feel like no way, right? I mean, then again, we can't assume anything with Victoria because who knows what she would do. But they had the POV player picks. We've got the two nominees, Austin and Brayden. And the three extra players are Ro, Ty, and Victoria. Oh my god! So I don't know if any of them were house guest choice or what. But those are our three extra players. So then Victoria was talking to the cameras in the Destiny bedroom. And she says, best case scenario, Ty wins this. I cannot be the one to win this. She says, I feel so bad. Canada's going to think that I'm heartless. Maybe I am. Oh. But later on, she swears that she's not this evil in real life. I mean, really, it's a freaking game. You know, she's trying to entertain everybody and win $100,000, so I think she's well within her rights, but it's just so wild to watch. So the POV competition is at some point today, or at least it's supposed to be. I don't know that anyone other than the nominees would use the POV. It's going to be interesting to see what happens here. But check back later. If they do have the POV competition tonight, I will post the winners in the info box below. Thank you all so much for watching. It's going to be a wild week. Oh my god. So until next time, much love.